Hi everyone! If you're planning to move to Hong Kong for school, work, or just a new adventure, this video is for you. Finding an apartment in Hong Kong can honestly feel a little intimidating.
The tiny apartments, confusing list terms, extra fees that you have probably never heard of.
And somehow, everyone seems to know what they're talking about. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect before renting your first place in Hong Kong. So let's jump right in. Before we talk about leases and costs, let's answer the biggest question first. Where do you actually find apartments? Of course, there are traditional rural estate agencies, but many of them charge an agency commission. So if you don't speak Chinese or Cantonese, communication can sometimes also be a challenge. So that's why a lot of international students and expats use WellSee. Instead of going through an agent, you can chat directly with landlords or roommates. There are no agency commissions, listings are verified, and the platform supports English with built-in translation, which makes the whole process much less stressful when you're new to Hong Kong. So once you have found a few apartments that you like, here's what you need to know before saying yes. You will probably see a few different types of listings. An entire apartment means you get a whole place to yourself. It's perfect if you're moving with family, your partner, or a couple of friends. If you're trying to save money, then a shared apartment is probably your best option. You'll have your own bedroom, but share the kitchen and living space with roommates. It's one of the most popular choices for students. Then there are the studio apartments, where everything, your bedroom, living area, and kitchen is in one open space. They're small, simple, and great if you like your own privacy. You will also come across service apartments. These are fully furnished and often include Wi-Fi, utilities, and even housekeeping. They're super convenient for short stays, but they usually come with a high price tag. Finally, there's the famous subdivided flat. These are very small units created by splitting a larger apartment into several tiny rooms. They're usually the cheapest option, but if you're planning to stay for a while and have the budget, most people do prefer something with a little more space. Now, this is where a lot of newcomers get confused. Most rental contracts in Hong Kong are 2 years, but that doesn't always mean you're locked in for the entire 2 years. A very common setup is 1 year fixed plus 1 year flexible. The first year is the fixed term. If you leave early, you could lose your deposit or face other penalties. The second year is often more flexible. With enough notice, usually around 2 months, you may be able to leave the lease early depending on what's written in the contract. So don't panic when you see 2-year list. Just make sure you actually read the terms before signing. Here's the part everyone wants to know. How much money do you actually need? Besides your monthly rent, most landlords will ask for 2 months rent as a security deposit plus 1 month's rent in advance. So let's say your apartment is about 18,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. You need 54,000 Hong Kong dollars upfront before you move in. There's also something called stamp duty. It sounds complicated, but it's simply a government tax for rental agreements. The amount is usually quite small, and in many cases, it's shared between the landlord and the tenant. If you're renting through a traditional agency, you may also need to pay an agency commission, which is another reason many renters look for direct landlord platforms. So a few tips before you sign. Before you hand over any money, ask a few simple questions. Are the management fees included? What about electricity, water, gas, and internet? Does the landlord allow pets? And when you finally get the keys, test the air conditioner, check for leaks or mold, make sure the appliances work, and take photos of everything. It will save you a lot of headaches later. One more thing, most apartment buildings in Hong Kong have designated garbage collection areas, and many also provide recycling bins, so it's worth checking the building's rules after you move in. Moving to a new city is already a big adventure, and finding a place to live shouldn't make it even more stressful. Once you understand the different apartment types, list terms, and upfront costs, renting in Hong Kong becomes much easier. If you're just starting your search, WellSee is a great place to explore verified listings, connect directly with landlords, and skip the agency commission altogether. If this guide is helpful, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more tips about living in Hong Kong, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy apartment hunting!